There is a known controversy between everyone in the Genshin Impact community. Some people love it, some people despise it with all their very being. Now, if you've been playing the game for, 2 seconds, you'd understand what I'm talking about right now. And that is the resin system. Resin. The most loved and hated thing out of everyone. Now, today we're going to be discussing the goods and the bads for the resin system and trying to come to a conclusion on whether or not it's needed or even a good thing that it's in the game right now. So without further ado, let's go over some of the good aspects of resin in Genshin Impact. So I listed 4 of them for each. 4 for good, 4 for bad, to keep things a little bit more simple. So for the goods, they allow you to feel like you've done everything for the day. It gives you a sense of accomplishment. So whenever you log on every day, you have your resin. Once you fill out your resin, you're like, I'm done. I can put down the game and I can feel like I did everything I had to do for that day. I don't feel like I should have farmed that one a little bit more. I could have farmed that one a little bit more, and maybe I would have gotten a better roll then. No. It's if you've done everything with your resin, then you're done. Feels good. And that's what I had as my second one, was sense of accomplishment. So my first one was you feel like you've done everything for the day, and then your sense of accomplishment, which I went over both at the same time. Another good thing is that it keeps you coming back every day. So you log out, you've done everything for that day, then you realize, I can do this and this and this for the next day with my resin, because the domains rotate daily. So you'll have, I can farm for the weapon artifacts, the horn type weapon artifacts for today, and then tomorrow I can farm for the other type, and then the next day I can farm for character materials because I don't need anything for the other weapons. And it just keeps like a good rotation happening. Now, it also makes you not be able to run out of content. For example, if you were to grind out the game similar to that of what you do for something like Destiny, where you'd grind, and then you'd have the god tier weapons and you'd be done with it, well, that doesn't exist, because the luck for this game is complete ass, and they'll throw garbage at you before you even come close to getting what you actually want, which makes you keep wanting to come back so that you can actually get a good roll. You can build up each character. It's like, there's not a lot of content in the game right now, but I still have time for me to go and get this character leveled up, instead of having to be like, there's not a lot of content in the game, and I've also farmed all the materials to level everyone up, so there's literally nothing for me to do now. It gives you a little bit more to do. It basically adds a soft content filter for you to be able to play every day, so that you don't run out of content. Now, let's talk about some of the bad aspects of it. So, it slows down the grind that you're trying to do. So, if you keep grinding out an artifact set because you just want one roll, it is a high likelihood that you will go all day farming that, run out of all your resin, use 2 Welkin Moons, and still get garbage from that artifact set. Which doesn't feel very nice at all, to use everything you can for that day and still get trashed on. It's too based off of RNG, you could say. Then also, it makes the game boring if you're trying to play more, but you can't. So I'm in a Genshin Impact fix for the day. I really want to play this game, and because they just released like a trailer for the next expansion, and I'm hyped. I want to play, and I can't, because they hard cap you at resin, so you have to wait stupid amount of time before you can do anything. You're just sitting back and you're forced to wait when you really, really, really want to play, and that doesn't feel good. It also causes players to lose interest over time. So if I'm playing constantly and I always hit this hard cap, it makes me not want to play anymore because it feels like, oh, I can log in today and try to get a good artifact for my D-Luke, but I'm going to end up not getting a good artifact for my D-Luke just because of how shit my luck is anyway, so why should I even log on and even try to have good luck that day? I know I'm going to get shit on for that day, so there's no point. I'm just wasting my time doing that. Once you've had bad RNG so many times, it doesn't matter what they do, you're not going to want to play anymore because you know you're just wasting your time trying to grind for it. Now, that goes more into the RNG aspect, but it still comes together with the resin system. So let's go to our next point. It makes players unable to ever catch up with players who've played longer than them. So if you have somebody that's been using resin every day and has been doing this since the start of the game, there's no possible way that somebody else logs on right now and is able to catch up to them, just because they're going to be so far behind in materials. They're going to be so far behind in they're going to be so far behind in level up materials. For example, the mats, they're going to be so far behind in characters. You're going to have like a shit ton more characters in them. They're going to be so far behind in Mora. They're going to be so far behind in exploration and everything. They're going to be so far behind in just weapon material. Literally anything you can think of that's capped behind resin, they're going to be behind on. And that just makes people not want to play. Because you want to... I know co-op isn't the best form of playing, but sometimes people just want to play with their friends. And if they can never catch up to their friends, and their friends always are going to just destroy the dungeons for them, then there's no point in them playing. That doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good getting carried constantly. And that's another problem that comes with resin. If somebody, let's say they removed resin, then they'd be able to grind as much as possible, while the other person maybe could have only grinded for, let's say, 2 hours a day, and that's how long it took for them to run out of the resin. So whenever somebody else comes that can farm 5 hours a day, and they're able to catch up then. If you understand what I'm getting at, they're able to play more and get more stuff if resin wasn't a thing, but it is, so that doesn't exist. You can't do that. Another good aspect to look at for resin existing is that a lot of people play this on their phones, and they don't own gaming PCs, they don't own PlayStation 4s, they don't own all of that. All they do is they go to work every day, they have their home life stuff, and the only time that they can actually get in a little bit of enjoyment, for when it comes to gaming at least, is whenever they're sitting down maybe on a bus, maybe they're waiting in a meeting room, maybe it's their downtime, their 45 minutes of downtime when they're eating a sandwich, they can play a little bit of Genshin on the side. See, that's really nice. That goes towards their lifestyles and how they play. And because of what I was saying, that the way that resin is formatted is that once you completed it all, it feels like you're done for the day and you don't have to log on anymore. That feels good for people who don't have a lot of time to play, like phone users, like mobile users. And a lot of people don't want to credit mobile users like they don't exist, like, oh, this game shouldn't cater to them at all. But in actuality, if you put in everyone in the whole that plays Genshin Impact, including China and all that, it's probably majority mobile users, because that everyone has a phone. No, like the PlayStation, the PC are going to be split up individually because not every PCs can cost a lot, and PS4s sometimes they're not the best things, and sometimes they break, like mine broke. And so if you have mobile that's more reliable, your information carries over from phone to phone, and it's just a nicer way for the majority of people to play the game. Now, this all comes back to the point of, should resin exist in Genshin Impact? And it's such a hard point to actually come to a conclusion for, because it's something that caters for mobile users, which is most likely the majority of people who play this game are on their phones, and also everyone else that are having to stoop down to a phone level type game whenever they can see the potential and see how much better the game can be. Now, I don't think I have an answer for this. I don't think I do at all. It's quite possible they can increase how quickly the resin comes back. That's something that could possibly happen. They can increase resin regen rate, and that would be a nice thing to have. But other than that, like completely removing it affects so many things that it's hard for me to just say, yeah, let's take it out, whenever we don't know how it affects the mobile marketplace, and if they would keep playing if they didn't get that stimulation, a little pop of dopamine whenever they feel like they've accomplished everything for the day. So what I'd like to leave this to is y'all's opinions. Tell me down below in the comments what y'all think about the resin situation. Should we have it? Should we not? And so on and so forth. I'll be reading some, and if there's not a lot of them, I'll be replying to all of them as well. So thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Johnny.